Welcome to Disability Empowerment Now, Season 4. I'm your host, Keith Murphy DiCincini, and today I'm talking to friends of the show, Kurt Yaeger and Jordan Hogg. Gentlemen, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for
Good to
having
be
us.
back, man. Sorry, Kurt. It's good to be back. Good to see you, boys.
I just realized something. Jordan's last name is Hogg, and my last name's Yaeger, which translates to hunter. So it's like Hogg Hunter as a team.
Yes. What a
Wow.
team.
So,
I love it.
it's amazing to me that we only met, a year ago? And it feels like we've known each other our entire lives. Cuz, of course, I've been a fan of yours for years because I've been watching you without really knowing it. Are you going to be on NCIS Origins?
Well, I'd love to be. That would
You
be
have,
my fifth
you have
NCIS.
you have to fulfill my life dream of being on every iteration of NCIS. I have to live vicariously through you.
I mean, look, I love it because this is a campaign that we all can do. If every single person that's listening, we all wrote, even if you guys wrote, CBS and said, "Hey, I want to see Kurt Yaeger as a main character in the origin story," and they get 30, 40 letters. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that represents a statistical 10,000 people of a view if they get those letters. So you guys can make it happen. Like or I could write 30 letters myself as different people and send them from different locations.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I wonder how many letters it would take me to get cast in a Marvel movie. Something I
Ooh.
don't
Ooh.
obviously dream about at all.
I'm
But
sure we
Well,
could rustle something up if us lot get together and get our teams together. We'll soon have you on there, Keith.
yeah, I think we would have a better chance of getting a American Doctor Who, which is sacrilegious, by the way. American Doctor Who, American James Bond.
I like it.
You can have Doctor Who, Keith, but I'm not sure about Bond. That's treasured territory that you can't stray into that field.
I think there should be a Bond from Georgia, like
Oh
James,
God.
Bond James. I'm James Bond. They haven't shit. You know what I mean? I think that should be James Bond from the South.
Oh dear.
Well,
um,
this is a really interesting point that you're making without making it. That the disabled community is fractured in its support of professionals with
yeah,
disabilities in Hollywood. Like Jordan's been a director and directing so many projects, so many things. He writes. He's brought projects to networks and is getting them in the process of being sold. And because we don't have a massive following, because Jordan doesn't have a 500,000 followers, he
yeah,
can't get it over the line, and neither can I. It's
yeah,
because I'll call up an organization, for instance, with a friend of mine who has ALS, and that organization's well, we're not going to support the thing in Hollywood because we don't understand it. They're we want to support you, Kurt, but you don't have ALS, you have a missing leg. I'm like, yeah, but the disabled community needs to support the disabled community. And
yes,
what ends up happening
exactly.
is we don't have the juice in Hollywood to then change the societal narrative. And
Yeah,
so we get the same crappy characters with the same crappy storylines. And Jordan and I have to work on those because we need to feed ourselves. So we'll
Yeah.
take jobs, but we're like, everyone, we should do, you know, a big thing where Jordan gets 500,000 followers, and then you would see
100%.
TV show after TV show. But we need
100%.
to really support each other in this endeavor.
Yeah, this is the only way we're going to actually make any dents in the thing if we all push in the right direction. But it's going to take us all to do it together as one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it stretches both all the countries that participate in entertainment of any type, which is basically the entire world.
Yeah, well, there's like for instance, if I had the 500,000 followers or maybe 1 million, Jordan could present me as a lead character in something he wrote, and even if it was in the UK, it would get made. Because they're
Yeah,
like, well, look there's eyeballs on this guy. The
yeah,
disabled community, which just in America has 57 million of us. So
yeah,
all I need is 500,000 of that. What's that? 1%?
yeah.
Like, well, let's go, team.
Yeah, it's incredible. And so, what are you two doing nowadays since we last talked?
Go on after you, Kirk, because I'll be rattling on for a while because I've been mad busy.
Oh, no. Go ahead, man. Are you saying I'm not busy? What are you saying?
Well,
Like, look at this.
I keep trying to get you, brother. I keep trying to get you on board. I
Look,
don't
he's
know,
so
when was
busy, but he doesn't called me to come work.
I can't afford you.
Peanuts. Just a bag of peanuts.
Well, I think it's been a while since we talked. I don't know if I did. Did I do All Creatures Great and Small last time we spoke, Keith? Because I know that's come out over there in the US. That's come out on PBS. I did the Christmas special of that, and I did a block of a show here called Casualty recently, and a kids show I've just done. Then I'm doing a big show over here. I don't know if you guys get it over there. It's called Brassic. It's very similar to Shameless, but it's huge over here. It's like comparison with The Crown. It's number one on Netflix over here.
Nice,
It's got
dude.
the guy out of the guy who played the vampire on Preacher, Joe Gilgan in it. It's a very big show. I'm moving on to that next, but it's hell of a number. So I'm currently working on that at the moment, and I've got one or two things, right, bit of writing bubbling away that I'm working on with my American team over there. So progress is being made. I'm very lucky because I'm working every more or less every day now till the end of May, which is quite unheard of in this business. So I'm a very lucky boy. Bribery pays off, kids.
Yes, I know. Yeah. I'm right now. I'm approaching a big birthday. Actually, at the end of this month, when this episode is recorded, it's just the beginning of October. The birthday is the 30th. And I have this goal that no one cares about but me. But this season is 40 episodes of the main season, plus the pre-season and the post-season. But the main season, I'm gonna wrap up all of the 40 episodes by the end of the month, and then I'm gonna extend all the episode content, so this will be the only, never say never, or never say only anything. But right now, it's going to be the only 1.5 year season that we do. Total, probably in total over 60 episodes spread out through a year and a half.
Nice.
Because, again, this is all I dream about, all I think about. I love talking to people. I love interviewing them, and I love what I do. And I'm lucky enough to get paid for it. But when you're starting up a non-profit based on the same angle, you have to have this back catalog to attract investors who don't usually go for the smaller ventures yet. But I've only been doing this for three and a half years, almost 4. And at the end of this season, if you put the bonus content in, it will be over 125 hours of content, which usually shows get to in their 5th, 6th, maybe even 7th year. But I'm a workhorse, and it's just, I love what I do. Same as what you two do.
You knock it out of the park, Keith. You've nailed it, man. Did you say you're coming up to 30?
30 birthday.
I had a problem when I was coming up to 30. I didn't like the idea of it, but now I've got to 40. I just think, fuck it. I don't really care about anything anymore.
How old are you, Jordan?
41.
Well, see, I'm coming up on that age. My birthday is October 30th.
Run away, Keith. Run away from the birthday. Run back.
Yeah.
Well, genetics, and when you have the higher than normal voice, you would be shocked how many people get a call from me or call me, and they hear the name and they still call me ma'am. And I'm like,
you sound like an old Jewish New York lady. Is that what you're saying? What are you talking about, Keith? Is this kind of how you sound, Keith? Let me tell you, ladies, I have a problem with my sewer.
I don't know where you got Jewish from. They just call me ma'am. Like, if I didn't already know my gender orientation, I would be hella confused, because it's like if I had a nickel for every time I've been called ma'am. It's like, and what parents name their daughter Keith?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
your parents were really messed up.
on the flip side of things, Keith, when I came over to see Kurt last year, my friend I came up with, we were getting on the flight, and she said, "Watch this, I'm going to get an upgrade." And she walked to the check-in desk, and the lady on the check-in desk immediately called my friend sir, when she's clearly a woman. So she said, "Right, you're giving me a free upgrade to first class then."
That's hilarious.
I mean, if we didn't have facial hair, it's like, because that's a dead giveaway. Yeah. But it's like, even when I spell out my name, it's like, what kind of cognitive dissidence do you have to misidentify that name? I mean, Jordan can be a unisex name. Alex can, but Michael, Kurt, Kyle, Keith, Kevin, try to unisex those names. You can do Sam, but I mean, have you ever seen a guy say, yo, my name is Samantha?
My name's Samantha. Yeah.
It's like,
if I said that, everyone would be like, all right, your name's Samantha.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, James, you can really skate on that, but I mean, it's just, and I'm laughing off now because it used to be a lot more annoying than it is now.
Yeah, I see. Here's the thing: I always get confused at, like, people confusing me, especially in the industry. Actually, only in the industry. I identify as an actor, but I'm only a disabled actor to every single person in this town. Go figure. Like, I think I'm just an actor, but to them, I'm just a disabled actor.
I'm a disabled director. Apparently, I only direct things with disabled characters in.
Yeah. I mean, don't you only direct inspirational porn?
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
It's like, oh, by the way, that's a real phrase for anyone who doesn't know that.
I think we just came up with our new feature film, Jordan. We could film this really, really cheap. Here's what it is. You're a director, right, in this movie. So you have to actually make an appearance in the movie, but you're also directing it. You're a director directing an American disabled actor in a piece that's not about disabilities, but through all the network's notes, the studio notes, and the entire executive team and all the journalists, we get pushed more and more and more into making a disability porn-like movie, and we're like, no, we don't want to make this garbage.
I mean, where do I sign? If there's anybody listening want to chip in and be a producer, give us some money. Well, it's got Oscar written all over it.
I'll look at. Let me actually. This is a really good idea. Let's get 2 American writers and 2 Brit writers with me and you, and us 6 get together and say, look, all we have to do is write, 15 5-minute scenes.
Yeah,
let's play. Well, that only gets us to 80. So, okay, 20 minutes or 15 or 15 minutes or whatever it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we don't have to do something 15 minutes long and they'd say that was inspirational enough, wouldn't it?
It could be really funny. See, look, this whole conversation is leading that way. Like, I want to make stuff that people like get pissed off about. Like, I want to make people think and shove this stuff down their throat and go, hey, like, go eat a bag of dicks, you assholes. Like, you know what I mean? Like what? Well, like what? How long? Like, look, here's the thing. I would say, Jordan, we have probably the most collective ability to push something like that through. I mean, if we made a film like that for like 250 or 500, we could find investors for that and then go out and make a giant stink. And like, that's a really interesting thing. See, like, I like this conversation, Keith.
I think this is kind of what we need to do. We need to like make a kind of fuck you, this is the problem, shine it at them.
Yeah, I mean, there was just this show that closed on Broadway called How to Dance in Ohio, and it was this musical about autistic teens transitioning from their teenage years to young adulthood and preparing for college, learning social skills, and there's all the prejudices of other people ran through that show of this is what it's really like. No, we're not making any of this up. This is really annoying. This is daily existence. And it's like inspiration porn is a real term coined by the late disability activist Stella Young. It's not a gimmick. It's anything regarding a story or a meme that trivializes disability in whatever way to make the viewer or reader feel good about themselves at the butt of the person with a disability. It's like it's the opposite of what this program does. It's like this is a teaching tool. If people want to listen to this or view it and be inspired by it, great. That's on them, though. I don't do these episodes with that mindset in mind. I do it to bring other people into the world, into the culture, which, I mean, this is why comedians with disabilities are becoming more and more prominent, because people love to laugh, and humor is a great barrier breaker, barrier basher to really push past the stigma and make people relate and get them uncomfortable. And
that's the big point that we were making here. Is that, you know, in film and television, less than 0.5% of characters actually have a disability, like the actors, right, are played by them. And so if society isn't being influenced by film and television characters with disabilities being normal people, right? Like Jordan living in a great relationship, having a career, has a son that's into soccer and really cool stuff, right? Like all this cool stuff. Like, and he's a cool guy from like a rough neighborhood, and he's just going about his normal life. If that was a movie, it would be Jordan Hogg, disabled man, has wife, lucky him. Oh, a son, can he handle it? And a job, what's he gonna do? When like he's like, I'm crushing it. What are you talking about? Like that's every single movie and every single character. So society is being programmed that we are all a bunch of incapable people.
On the flip side, a super crypt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jordan could be going out to the store to buy a bottle of motherfucker, and people would think that's so inspiring. I'm going to get fucking hammered. You think that's inspiring?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know the bar was set so unbearably low that an fire ant could leap over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm writing this all down. This is what I'm doing. I'm not texting. I have my notes, and I'm literally writing the movie. Inspiration porn, like
Love it. I can
yeah,
literally get
like
get 2 fantastic writers on board within the
yeah,
next day.
and it's literally called the original IP. Like instead of intellectual property, it's inspiration porn.
Yes.
And I think Stella Young would appreciate that title.
Yeah.
The irony of that title is just so amazing.
We can officially become porn stars.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, if you Google this right now, you could type Kurt Yaeger and porn for women. I did a book a few years ago.
Wait, what?
yeah. So you Google it and you'll see what you see.
I'm Googling.
It's not what you think, but it's also,
I'm Googling.
Jordan's going for it, Yeah, that's true. It's very true. It's a book I did. I had a couple of the books around somewhere. It's like a parody book about like what kind of porn women really want.
Yeah.
And there's some funny images and whatnot, and like
I'll tell you what's called Kurt Yaeger nude.
Yeah, I do have nude. I have done full frontal in a couple of shows, so I'm just saying.
That all jokes aside, that's amazing. Because that's representation right there. I mean,
I'll represent.
We're all indebted to you, Kurt. But all jokes aside, if you think about the culture mindset all over the world, that disability is often equated with 2 other D words, disease or death. And disability, it's not a bad word. Disability is sexy. I wrote a paper in school called The Desirability of Disability. But I mean, if you think about the culture mindset of looking at a disabled body as either a man or a woman and finding that attractive or appealing in any way, shape, or form, and to have big studio execs actually want to film that and release it.
I think that's a key problem that every single organization that deals with Hollywood and every single advocate who's trying to make Hollywood or any film and entertainment, I say Hollywood like the entertainment business.
Yeah.
The entertainment executive. This is what I've been working on with my foundation, XA, where we've been raising money to actually make our own projects. And I mean a lot of money. We're not raising we want $5 and $10 from everybody, but we're raising $10 million. So that's what we're going for. The crazy thing is everyone makes the mistake of saying those executives should make X, Y, and Z. That director without a disability should make X, Y, Z. The writer without a disability should make X, Y, and Z. The casting director without a disability should make X, Y, Z. The agent who doesn't have has a disability needs to pitch their disabled actor as X, Y, Z. None of that can happen. None of the executives are disabled for the most part.
Yeah.
So there's never going to be any representation changes in the film business unless we do it. And that's it. That's it. Everyone keeps expecting the CEO who's not disabled to change policies that are pro-disabled. Unless you have a disabled CEO or that CEO has a family member that has a disability, nothing can change.
Yeah, why would the CEO, why would the executive change a policy procedure that they know nothing or very little about? I mean, it's not like magical thinking is going to just fix things.
Yeah, well, like for instance, like for me, it's I have the unique perspective of being non-disabled and obtaining my disability.
Yeah.
However, I also have a unique pre-disability life where I was a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So I'm not an athletic guy, right? Like I am a professional all day long, 16 hours a day. I live, breathe, and eat athleticism. That's what I do. And then I go from that to being disabled, and how I'm treated and the rest of it afterwards enlightened me to a full understanding, not of being a below the knee amputee and the limitations it has on me. Compared to like disabilities, Jordan knows, we call this a paper cut. It's nothing. It's just one little limb. Like I can do everything. But what happens to me is because I went down to like the bottom of physical capability, right? Not being able to walk, having a broken back, broken pelvis, the whole thing, traveling around in a wheelchair for 6 to 9 months, understanding what my friends go through means that I think about, like, for instance, in my own house, I'm like, okay, how do I build the front steps into a ramp? What do? I need to make it beautiful, but I need to make it so that people can come in. Okay, my back area, when I build my pool, how is it going to be that I'm going to have a wheelchair, like accessible ramp? What am I going to do? Well, maybe I'll make it just roll-inable, right? Like the whole thing. So I'll buy 2 wheelchairs that can go in the water and I don't care about, so people can transfer and just go in. And people think, oh, well, you're going to spend all this extra money. And I go, I'm going to spend maybe 1% more, maybe, if not 0.5%, almost nothing, in order to gain 20% more of the population to have access to my property. Well, if that was thinking about it from like a film, television perspective or anything else, mate, if I was a CEO, I'd be crushing business.
But what's the? I don't get a lot of the logic in the film business. Like they'll fly an actor's family first class around the world, but they're only an hour in about putting a ramp in or a wider doorway in a set.
Because they don't see that it's valuable, and it's here's the reason. There's like 5 reasons, right? But one is they're not disabled, so they don't know what the value is of inclusion. Okay, so and they never will. They never will get it. So everyone who's listening, who's disabled, they will never get it. It's a brutal, rough thought to put in your brain. However, it's true. But if you know the rules of the game, now you can play it properly. So that's true. But the other thing is that our community isn't supporting people with disabilities. What's like, if Keith, you're a very involved person. Tell me 5 different companies that are making really useful products, not disabled products, just like t-shirt companies that are disabled owned. We even have a hard time naming them, so we're not supporting our own through business, right? We're buying able-bodied garbage. Like, so if we're not even doing it, how are we going to expect that the networks do it for us if they don't know that our community is going to come together and actually give a shit. Because they don't care. They're not in the business of charity, right? They're in the business of making money. And if we could get together the disabled community, even if we got, 10% of the American population with disabilities to say, we'll watch everything and back up disabled people. That's 5.7 million people. I should have 5.7 million followers just from disabled people, but I don't. Why? Why don't we support each other? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's, I mean, you want to be shocked at it, but when you look at the landscape of entertainment, and it's made progress, but and I'm not trying to shit on diversity here, but every time the diversity month come up, people think it's African American voices, queer voices, Latino voices, which again is diversity, but again, there's this meme that's saying if you exclude disability from diversity, you're doing it wrong.
Right. And I think, and to your point specifically, I grew up in a non-white neighborhood, right? So when I hear diversity for, let's say, African Americans or Black people, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. What's really interesting is they're like, oh, I want to have someone in the room who has this much melanin in their skin, right? And that's like the way that it's presented. But the way that it really should be is like, I want other cultures. I want other cultural representation. Yeah. So if I have someone who went to Harvard and grew up super rich and is Black, that's not the same as having a guy or a gal who came out of a bad neighborhood who has a different culture and is still intelligent and can write to that. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of inclusion. So because we think of it as a skin color, we can't see the value of disabilities, because disabilities is the same thing as like Black or Latino culture or gay culture or whatever it is. It's a different way of looking at something, not just the color of skin. So if you think about it, the different way of looking at something, culture, that means you can value disabled culture because you've approached DEIA correctly, because you're considering culture is valuable, which is culture is, equals a different perspective. And so you're like, what's your perspective on this? What's your perspective on it? And I call that like the God perspective, right? And how I explain it is, let's say there's a street going this way and a street going this way. Like, for audiences, I'm saying north to south and then east to west or west to east, right? So you have it like coming into a cross section. And at the intersection of those lines, you have one person standing on a corner, and then the other corner is another person, and another corner is another person. Yeah. So you have 4 people total on each corner, and there's a car wreck. Each one of those people is going to see the same thing differently, because they're going to have different information. And so it's collecting the whole information to get a better perspective. And
it's like going back to what you said about having shot some full frontal nudity. It's like, and we're all guys, if we were all at a pub, we would be using very different language, but it's like, I want to appreciate the revolutionary move on the company, on the show, for wanting to put your body,
Yeah.
disabled and all, warts and all, whatever,
Yeah.
out there. Because again, the last interview I did with you, and I talk about you a lot, Kurt. I talk about that interview a lot, and like, if you want to see a total bromance, what did happen, and if I ever needed a fire lit under my ass on why you should really do video casting in addition to podcasting, look at that episode. But
Great.
like, your viewpoint and the way you've evolved post your professional athlete life into your greatest chapter, and the article where you say, I forget the exact wording, but I want to be the crippled smart ads or cripple bastard. It's like,
Oh yeah. I said it was in the Guardian, I think it was and I said, I don't care if you call me a one-legged bastard.
Yet.
And that was saying, I just care that you give me a call. Use whatever fucking language you want to use about my disability. I don't give a fucking flying shit. Give me a call. I will show up. I will crush the role. I will do a good job. Just give me a call, as opposed to give me a call and be like, oh, I'm so worried about it. Let's write some really interesting stuff together. Let's do some really interesting stuff together. Get rid of all these like societal like fears about language, which are important, but only if you have bad intentions. If you have good intentions and you use bad language with me, I don't care. All I care about is making something interesting and pushing the boundaries. That's all Jordan cares about. Like my perspective of becoming disabled is different than Jordan's, right? Different than yours. So I come to Jordan and go, look, you've been directing, you've been writing, you're doing all kinds of crazy cool shit. What tell me your perspective. And he's like, this. And I'm like, okay, let me adjust my perspective to add in this new information. And then he goes off and comes up with questions for me. And he's like, what about this? And now we're coming up like with a better form of how to approach the industry because we have more perspectives. And that's what's so important, is getting the audience of your show, Keith, to understand that they have to follow me and they have to follow Jordan. And they have to tell every single person they know, do me a favor, do me this one favor, call every single person you know with a disability and every single one of their friends and say, can you just go on your Instagram, just Instagram, not Facebook, nothing else, and just follow Kurt Yaeger real quick. Just give him a follow. Follow Jordan Hogg. Just give him a follow. We're going to get them both to 500,000 followers, just in the disabled community alone. And then that way they can go to any network and make any TV show, because all the disabled community came together and gave us a little tiny piece of their power. And we say, Jordan and I will go and use that power, and we will swing it like a big bat when we walk into a room of a group full of network executives, and we'll make some really awesome fucking television. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, right, Jordan? I mean, I'll let you talk a little bit, but fuck.
I'm down, baby. Yeah. I'm all in.
Jordan's all in, man. Like, we've had great conversations about this subject, and I'm telling you, I mean, like, I don't know how we could come up with the idea, but maybe we just have like a one more podcast where we start off and it's just 20 minutes talking about this one subject, saying, look, this entire podcast is dedicated to everyone, reaching out to Kurt Yaeger, reaching out to Jordan, and reaching out to every one of your friends. Maybe we do a live event or something.
Podcast, do shout outs to everybody who follows us.
Yeah. Maybe we do a live one and say, listen, everyone follow everyone on here. And that's what we do. And we do it over and over and over until we get to 500,000 followers so that the networks understand that they want to see Jordan direct episodes of really big things that have nothing to do with disability.
Yeah.
And everyone who follows us will give a shout out, and they can ask us any question they like.
Yeah. Ask me anything. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, that's, maybe it's a campaign, Keith, where we reach out to every disabled organization and every disabled charity and say, listen, we're doing a campaign. We want to come on, like use you, Keith, as like the host, come on a live event with their social media channels.
Yeah.
And we just co-host this and say, listen, we're doing a campaign where we're going to do a half hour on your Instagram page. And we get on there and talk about film and television and disabilities. And everyone's job is to follow us.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. Like we do that, twice a week for an hour.
Yeah. It's worthwhile, and people don't know that little sliver of power, of follow on Instagram, a follow on YouTube. Those matter a lot more than the vanity. Oh, I have 1.5 million followers.
Yeah. I
no
have
one
no vanity.
really cares about the vanity aspect.
Right.
No.
I mean, look, this is how bad I am at it. I have I just went on there. What are we, September 30th?
Yeah.
My last post was August 15th. Like, that's how, like, bad I am at it. But, like, I have 20,000 followers, right? And so that's good, right? I guess. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm very friendly on there, but, like, I'm not, like, doing it for vanity. I'm not doing it to be like, ooh, look at me. Like, look at me in naked TV shows,
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying that it's a matter of like the tiniest amount of power that everyone can give us collectively will change the narrative in film and television. If I'm the lead of a television show and it's popular and they go, oh, it must be because of these other reasons, and I scream from the rooftops, it's because I'm disabled and it's because it's interesting and it's because no one's seen it and they want to see interesting things they haven't seen before.
Yeah.
If that's the truth and they get that, they're going to go, can we do it again with Kurt and Jordan with someone else too? Can we do it when they're in a whole different kind of movie or TV show? What if Kurt and Jordan are involved and they get these other actors? Will it work? And then, yes, it does, over and over and over. And everyone's like, holy shit, there's a whole new way to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and the execs will be thinking about that while the actors, the show writers, the directors are approaching it from a very different angle.
Very different.
How can we open up a conversation? How can we open up and expand people's point of views, their mindsets?
I think what it is the society will change their point of view on disabilities when one kingmaker, one like a Dick Wolf, right?
Yes.
Like someone like a Dick Wolf, right? He does all like CSIs, right? Law and Order, blah blah blah, right? All this.
Chicago Med.
Yeah, there's those guys, right? If Dick Wolf was listening to this podcast, which he's not, right? But if he were and he went, this is a good idea. I want to make a show with Kurt as a lead, as a cop or a fireman who loses his leg, etc. ad nauseum. Dick Wolf isn't doing me a service. He's not doing the disabled community a service. what he's doing is he's preparing himself to get covered in gold pixie dust because he's going to make so much fucking money on a really amazing TV show. And that's the motivation disabled people have to present.
Yeah, because like we can work on the same project, have totally different motivations. And it's like, I remembered seeing you on that NCI episode and being like blown away, and how your character was used to empower the later spouse of one of the main characters, something I never thought I would see. I thought they would go the usual route of killing off the disabled character for sympathy. They did not do that, not even close, and then you went on to, again, you've been on every iteration of NCIS for a few episodes, but that's a very well-known franchise. It's like almost like Law and Order. It's like little roles matter, even if you're an extra. What?
Sorry, Keith. I tell you what's boiling my piss at the moment. Have you boys seen Penguin?
I haven't seen it yet.
Not yet.
Why?
The two main characters both have disabilities, which have massive implications to their characters. Neither are played by disabled actors.
It's the same. It happens so often, dude.
Yeah.
It happens so often.
The leads.
Wow. It happens 95% of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not making that number up. That is from the Ruderman Foundation's family Foundation's white paper they did in 2019. Like 95% of all characters are played by non-disabled actors, and those actors, one, don't get the opportunity, and two, when an able-bodied person takes on the role of a disabled person, they play up their the cryptness of it, and they're like, look at how angry I am because of my name, and you're like, fuck you.
That's exactly what they're doing on Penguin.
See, when you're playing a villain, I can understand that. I don't agree with it at all, but I can understand where, again, and we're not trying to ditch the Penguin at all, but
fuck them.
You've got a fantastic director and a fantastic actor. Why haven't they booked us? We understand it more.
Good point. Well, let's use that. Like, we'll go back to the non-disabled CEO of the company. Well, if you have a disabled CEO, or you have a disabled show writer or disabled director, they're in charge of the product. They are going to bring a vastly different perspective to the project. That's why when I see Kurt in a major television franchise across every iteration, that doesn't really need to do this, but it does it anyway. And there are myriad of different reasons why. But that stands out because it's like, and I remember telling you last time, Cut, that you could easily be the first James Bond with a disability and sex that already uber masculine character up in a breathtaking, totally unique way that no one would expect.
Yeah, and I think that's 100% true, because once people can see it, if someone like Dick Wolf looked at the 78 episodes of television I've done, or the 20 feature films, or the 80 commercials, he'd go, holy shit. And it's not like I'm playing like the same character. Like I went from, like the darkest character would be in Quarry. I don't know if the show you saw, but I'm a contract killer and I'm an absolute piece of shit. Like the worst human. And then you go all the way to like a TV show called Best Foot Forward, where I'm like in a kid's show, and I'm like a sweet, happy like guy who's really kerfuffled and funny, and you're like, wait a minute, that's the same guy. You know, like I was the club member in Sons of Anarchy.
Angry and bitter.
Yeah, and not like and like I was in Sons of Anarchy for a season. I was in Tell Me a Story for a season. I was in Another Life on Netflix for a season. Like I've been in all these huge shows and projects, and they can't see that I'm not playing a disabled guy. I'm playing a different character. And I have that range to go the entire range of like an actor's ability. And all they see is disabled actor.
Well, I'm just a piece of shit all the time.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit in real life. but my point is, if Dick Wolf figured that out, right? Or a Berlanti, right? Like, or a I'm trying to think of like who's the guy who does like the American Horror Story?
Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy. If Ryan Murphy got finally a look, right? Like one of those three, or there's a few more, but they looked and they went, look at this resume.
Yeah.
What could I do with it? Right? But again, Jordan and I have come to the realization that they're not going to look because they're not disabled, so they can't see the value.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah, which is really, really unfortunate because you don't do the same thing with other cultures, other ethnicities.
In fact, Keith, I think you should send Dick Wolf and Ryan Murphy a gift. You should send them this podcast.
Oh, yeah. That was so fucking funny.
If anyone has a connection, I mean, now Ryan Murphy,
you just gotta send it. You could just send it. You could just send it to like their website's information. It's like info at whatever. But like, here's what I'll say to like one of those people, a Murphy or a Dick Wolf. One, take a look at Jordan's shit. Jordan's directed a ton of shit. We need to get him over to America to direct some really awesome shit. That's number one. But two, when you look at me for like a role, and I don't want to play a fucking guest star or recurring. Don't call me for that. I don't give a shit. That's just money. That's not going to change my career. You want to call me about a television show and you want me to be like one of the leading characters of your next TV show, don't call me. Don't call me. What I want you to do is look at my resume and see the amount of work I've done. And then call every single person that I've worked with. Call the showrunners that I've worked with. Call the directors I've worked with and ask them about my acting ability and my character on set. Am I a good human? Can I carry a show? Will I make sure that even the lowest person in the set will be taken care of and have a safe? Yes. That's what you want in a leading character. So call everybody else before you call me. Like, that's the kind of bullshit. You guys keep hiring all these fucking assholes who treat women like shit or are just assholes in general, come out with some weird sex scandal. And you're like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are we doing here as a society?
Yeah. It's like, in going back to NCIS on New Orleans, they had a disabled main character for the majority of the run.
Yeah,
And
that was Daryl Chill Mitchell.
Yes, and I first saw him in 10 Things I Hate About You, which then he wasn't disabled at all. But I mean, there's ways to write disability
ways, but like,
into.
But the point with Daryl Chill Mitchell, I'll make you understand about it. Like, he wasn't written as a regular character first. He was written as a guest star, and then again and again and again, and then he slowly worked his way up into being that. But then he's playing the character that is a character that is the same type of character you're allowed to play when you're disabled. You can be the tech guy stuck in an office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my gosh, that was his whole character until he had the episode with me. Until our episode. And that was written by Catherine Bietti, who's disabled, by the way, and a great writer. Everyone should follow Catherine. Go on there. She's a badass surfer, too, and wheelchair MX gal who goes to skate parks. But, like, my point is... Yeah, it was only that she wrote that she said, we want to get Daryl's character out of the damn office for one.
Yeah.
So that we can see he has a life. And then my character's disabled and, like, goes to kill somebody, and Daryl's trying to stop me. And it's like this whole thing. And we won a bunch of awards for that episode. We won a Media Access Award and everything else. We had the most disabled actors in a television show, or the second most in all of history. Wow. In one episode. And, like, everyone's like, oh, okay, whatever. And you're like, we did that. Like, I came in as a guest actor and made the audience not care about the leading actors. You know what I mean? They were like, holy shit, what is this? And I do that over and over and over, and no one has been like, oh, that we should get a TV show with him because he can really wrap up audiences. He can really do something. They're like, yeah, he did that, but disability, what do we do? I don't know. And it's because they're not disabled and they don't know the value of it. Like, I know, Keith, that you have great value in your experiences, right? So that's why when we stopped the recording last time, we stayed on a call for like another 45 minutes just talking. Yeah. I was like, tell me about you. Tell me about what it's like. Yeah. Tell me how the podcast is going. That was the video element. And, like, that's Jordan and I talking. I'm like, what neighborhood that's what I know about his son and, like, other things about him. I'm asking about it because I know the value of your both experiences as being a disabled person. Not let it inform everything you are, but it's like, tell me how you're treated by them. You know, tell me how you're like that kind of stuff.
I mean, I mentioned earlier getting misidentified over the phone as a woman. When people hear the voice and they're in person, I really wish people would cough up and ask the question, then assume that I'm drunk on drugs or not all there. And that's why I do the show, because I talk about it a lot. It's a big part of my advocacy, and if I can't talk about it, I might as well not do this job at all. It's like I can't. But if you if you normalize the speech, which ironically alcohol does, for me, which is the exact opposite of what alcohol usually does for people. I mean, damn my kidneys. I should just be drunk all the time. No, I'm too in love with being alive to be killed.
Yeah, do you know? There's a crazy story, but do you remember the TV show? You're a little young, but the TV show Laverne and Shirley. You remember that show? Okay. The guy who played Lenny, who is like Squiggy and Lenny, they're like the best friends. Lenny, I can't remember the actor's name, but I believe he had ALS, and he lied and told everybody that he was just a drunk and pretended that he was a drunk and pretended he was drunk all the time because he knew that that was more acceptable than to have a disability.
Yep. Yeah.
So he literally pretended to be a functioning alcoholic so he wouldn't be fired. And he did that for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's horrible that people have to do that.
Have to. Not choose to. Have to.
Yes.
Like they have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I walk in like wearing pants, I am treated like a man. If I walk in wearing shorts, I'm like pitied in sympathy. If I come in with my leg off in a wheelchair, are you okay, buddy? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
If I had a nickel for every time I've been called buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Like,
let me hug you there, buddy. Hey, good on you for being out there, buddy. Fuck you, I'm 30. Well, I'm almost 30, is what you're saying, right? I mean, like I am a man.
Yeah.
Mate. Yeah. Jordan, I know you've had that. What's your experience with that?
All the fucking time. I mean, if I have a meeting like this over Zoom, it's totally different if people see me in person.
Yeah.
Even if I stand up, people watch it. You can see them looking at my leg when I stand. Well, I don't know. They think he's going to fucking do light up or something.
Yeah.
But it's just bizarre. It's just fucking weird. And people do talk to me and treat me, they say, very differently. Very differently. It's really odd. It really is.
Yeah, it's crazy. And here's the thing. I understand it because society programs people like about disabilities to treat it as something to be pitied or to be inspired by, right? And you get no other reaction. You either get people who stare and don't say anything and they're sad for you, or they're like, hey man, I see you in the grocery store. Oh, how'd you lose your leg? You military? And I'm like, no. And they're like,
I get that a lot. People assume I'm military.
Military, yeah, bro. And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, how did it happen? And I'm like, motorcycle. Like, oh, those are dangerous. I'm like, yeah, no shit. And then they don't know what to say. And they're like, man, well, good on you for being out and getting around. And I'm like, I'm buying bananas in the produce section. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally standing here trying to get some bananas and have you shut the fuck up and go away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's baffling. But here's the thing. The reason all those people treat us that way, and every disability, right? Like wheelchair users are treated differently than us. Little people are treated differently, deaf and blind, everything. We're all treated slightly differently, right? You know, wheelchair users are often prayed for. Little people get their heads pat, right? Like you get called buddy.
People have prayed for me in a lift before. I've got in a lift and the guy got down on his fucking knees.
Yeah. And you're like, I would prefer just to be able to pray for me to get down on my knees and get up easy. Right? Like that's like that would be the prayer for you to get shut the fuck up. But my point is not only does society treat disabilities this way because film and television have programmed them, but also, you know, and this is to be fair to them, if their training is negative about us and they've never had a disability and they don't have anyone in their life, they're going to have no other reference. So they're ignorant at no fault of their own because they just don't have it around. Like, I don't know what it was like to grow up black in the Bronx. I'm a white dude from the West Coast. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to grow up in a bad neighborhood, going to juvie and getting in a lot of fights and getting stabbed and hit with baseball bats. Yeah, I get that, but I couldn't tell you what it was like to grow up in the Bronx. So it's like, we have to understand that they don't know, not to any fault of their own. It's the people who are limiting us from showing disabilities in society that are the actually people to blame, because they have the power and they should have the intellectual capacity to understand their own implicit biases, but they don't, because they just, you know, for the same reasons that the average person doesn't, because they just don't know any better. They should at this point, but they don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very important point about the programming of culture and society. I mean, it's like we're making jokes earlier about, oh, Jordan's married and is a father. How did that happen? Can he survive another day of fatherhood? It's like, fuck you. He's a man.
Yep.
And I'm sure his son or his wife or both of them don't look at him any differently than the loving, supportive father and husband he's always been. But if you make that a short or a documentary or anything, people will lose their minds. Wait, he's sexually active? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's married, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No. Well, and then you get
but
then you get like a compounding problem, right? So then you get the typical problems of like female issues, right? That's different than male issues.
Yeah.
I don't want to say more. I'll say the same, because men don't get credit for how much shit they have to go through every day. But at the same time, women get other shit. Now imagine the disabilities and that. Right now, it's like they're unsexy now, which isn't true. Now they're unattractive. Now they can't have babies. That's all not true. Like my friend Teal Shear, who's a wheelchair user, has 2 beautiful children and a happy marriage and a husband and the whole 9 yards. Like, perfectly fine. But then you compound that, and then you add another cross-sectionality. Now you're black, disabled, and you have those issues, and you're driving a car, and you know what I mean? It's like, for fuck's sake, like. The amount of stupidity that rolls downhill just because we're not including people in film and television is so ridiculous. Again, that's why, like, our organization, XA Endowment, is the only solution. We need to raise as much money, $10 million, for the organization and get Jordan and I 500,000 followers minimum, so we can literally go and change this. And it's not like, oh, we're going to ask them to do it for us. No. We've already, like, I'm on my 6th project with my production company. I'm already doing it. And when I get to $10 million, I'll be able to change the inclusion statistics and increase disability representation by over 6,000% permanently year over year. Literally, that will change the way society sees disabilities forever. End of story, game over.
It's only going to change when there's an element of disability power at the top.
Yeah. And as
control.
We have that, when we have that capital and we're making projects, we become a capital generating organization.
Yeah.
We don't need any more money once we raise that much money. We can take all the money we can get, but we become a powerful entity that can lift other disabled voices, because we're not in the business of charity. We're in the business of making money. That happens to be in the film and television, but that happens to change society. But as we get more power and more capital, one, for me, I don't care about money because I grew up poor, so I'm happy with cheap ass shit. It doesn't matter. Like a cheap hat that's my wife's company, like perfect. I love it. Don't give a shit. So because I don't care about money,
Wait, you're married?
Oh yeah, I got married.
Oh,
yeah, so it's so inspirational.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's amazing.
Damn, it's like, how did that happen?
Why would any woman love
you
a one?
attract
How would a woman love this?
you?
So, like, but then that's the entire point. Like they can't understand it, but we become a powerful capital generating organization for other disabled people as well. So a disabled company that makes clothing, we're like, hey, we're going to put that into our productions, and we're going to tell everyone, go buy your stuff, like over and over and over. But Jordan knows, like, we've had conversations. People look at us like lobsters are crawling out of our ears and our bodies are turned inside out because they can't comprehend what the fuck we're saying.
Yeah.
You're like, we've spoken
people in high positions.
Yeah.
Who it just completely goes over the head when we're speaking in almost speaking slowly in layman's terms. And it's still not landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Jordan sees this. This is how fast I want to talk all the time because my mind's on fucking fire. But when I have meetings with Jordan and like other executives, I'm like, hey, how are you guys doing today? Well, I wanted to talk to you guys about disability inclusion and how we could change the narrative, but how we could make a lot of money. I feel like I'm talking to a fucking sixth grader. I'm like, for fuck's sake, let me speak fast so you can keep up. Let's go. But I can't because, one, they don't have any experience with it. So this is a brand new subject. And as you know, it doesn't matter what the brand new subject is. Brand new subjects are scary. If you said, hey, let's go to a ceramics class, you'd be like, okay. And then if the teacher was talking this fast, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and throw the clay on here and do this. You'd be like, I can't, it's too fast.
Yeah.
So you have to slow down because they don't know anything. And then you just go, okay, here's what we're going to talk about, disability. I had a conversation with a huge studio, one of the biggest on the planet. Okay, let me just say, top 3. Okay, you can guess which one of the 3.
Yeah.
And I was talking to they're called current executives. So they're the executives of television shows that are currently airing. And I said, hey, we have an issue. And I had coffee and I was already a little like ornery.
Yeah.
Like I was tired of this fucking conversation. And they're like, well, we're really trying to include, people with disabilities. We have a program for it. And I go, let me stop you right fucking there. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Name the disabled actors you have on your current 15 television shows in a capacity of 1 to 10 on the call sheet. Go. And I'm not going to say go and let you continue thinking because you have 0.
Yeah.
I already know it. You have 0. That's 150 people that you have working and you have 0 people.
Yeah.
And that's every single studio and every single network. And then a network will go, well, we have 1. And I'm like, 1 out of 150 is not 20%.
Yeah.
1 out of 300 is not 20%. 1 out of 500 is not 20%.
Yeah.
1 out of 4 is 25%. 1 out of 5 is 20, and we get worse from there.
Yeah.
So what's 1 out of 100, right? That's 1. So 1 out of 150 is less than 1%, which is on par for the amount of representation. And they think that's a good thing. Like, that's what makes it just baffling. So
yeah. I mean, it's like going back to school when you're writing all your term papers and your teachers, your professors will know the subject, but any teacher worth their salt is going to tell you have to write like you're explaining a brand new topic to me, because you can't assume that everyone who will read or come across your work is gonna know anything about your work. And
and here's
that's the most successful writing out there.
Well, these executives need to understand one thing. Here's what they're going to get. Right now, they're like, they think that listening to me speak the way I am, they're like, oh my gosh, he's going to come in and hit me with a fucking baseball bat, right? And I'm like, no, what I'm going to do is be this passionate, this intellectual, this emotionally cognizant, and bring that value and that experience to your aid, to literally guide you in something you don't know very slowly and carefully, and help you integrate characters with disabilities into on camera and then behind the scenes, right? Like, show you how to do it from a way that's going to make you money and offer you a piece of my power in exchange for a piece of your power. And collectively, we have more power.
Yeah.
So do you want more power? Yes. Okay, we'll take some of mine, but give me some of yours and we will have more power. And all people think is like, oh, you want to take. And that's the problem with disability inclusion advocacy groups that function in Hollywood, is that's how they function. They're like, well, you need to use this language. Why are you teaching them language when they don't even know what the fuck you're talking about?
Yeah.
Use curse words. That's a universal truth. Just curse. You know, like, fucking disabled. Call me that. Call me a fucking bastard. Call me a one-legged piece of shit. I don't care. Like, that's the point. Like, because I'm a professional, I don't care what you call me. I only care how you treat me. And right now you're treating me like a one-legged bastard. So that's why I don't care what you call me, because that's all you're treating me like. And that's how you're treating Jordan. Jordan is treated like a disabled fucking director, when he has directed so much shit that he should be a director.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the problem. They're patronizing and they're performative by using shit language, which offends me, because then they think they've done a good job and they haven't, and they stop there.
Yeah.
So they're not actually looking for change.
And people will think that putting in the bare minimum
is acceptable.
It's so revolutionary. And it's like, this isn't the 1930s. This isn't the 60s. We're in 2024.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Dude. Jordan is introduced around his peers as a disabled director, not BAFTA fucking winning director.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know how hard it is to win a BAFTA?
No, but I mean,
twice.
Twice. Yeah, twice. I mean,
it's
why
like
am
winning
I?
an Oscar or an Emmy. It's like winning an Oscar or an Emmy. Think about it.
Why am I the one hosting this show? Why doesn't Jordan host this show? He had the credibility that would.
But he's introduced as a disabled director.
Director. That's my ceiling.
Yeah, it's like, you must only care about disability issues, disability stories. No, I will literally take any work within reason that you present me with.
Yeah, think about it this way, Jordan. How many like executive studio or network or whatever called you buddy?
Oh, every single one.
Think about it. The same thing you said, Keith.
Hands
The
down.
executives are like, "Hey, Jordan. Hey, buddy. Hey, director with a disability. How you do? You want to direct our episode? We'll help you out." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up. I've won 2 BAFTAs."
Yeah. It's like
dehumanizing.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
Not to speak for you, Jordan. Not to speak for you. I'm just talking too fucking much. I'm going to drink some liquid so you guys can talk a little bit, because shut the fuck up, Kurt. Gee.
Where can I get one of them hats, Kurt? I want a hat.
You want a hat?
I want a hat.
All right, I'm going to get you a hat. I'm going to send you a hat.
Send me a hat.
All right.
I mean, I think the joke permeating this season is trying to find a guest or guests who would easily, happily do a 5-hour episode with me. Do I really want to do a 5-hour episode? No. But it makes people laugh when they hear it. And I'm trying to spruce up the interviewing style by putting more humor in. But this has been a great conversation, a conversation that could easily go 5 hours. Wrapping up this segment of it, because let's be honest, you can come back whenever the fuck you want.
I'm there, baby.
You're just that fun to talk to. Like I end every interview, in case there are any aspiring advocates of any stripes wanting to get into the entertainment industry and make it more inclusive. Not easy to do, but that's someone's passion. As to individuals who are fighting the good fight, what would be some action steps or some advice you would give the next generation?
Pursue relentlessly. People will tell you can't. Don't bother. Why you're doing it. Keep doing it. Fuck everybody else's opinion. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You've got to push hard. You've got to fight for what you want and believe in it. It's hard, but keep fighting and you'll get there in the end. It's the best industry in the world.
I'd say, to follow up exactly with Jordan, it's better to apologize than ask permission. So fuck them, do whatever you want, make enemies, which will make you friends in the long run. Go tell truth to power and go figure it out. And you have to be, as a disabled person, better than your compatriots. You have to be a better director, a better actor, a better writer. So one, work on your skills. Like film, if you're a director, film everything. You got a fucking camera right here in your iPhone. You got a cheap editing software. Go make stuff and start doing it and build up your repertoire. But then also don't take the crumbs from the table. If they don't give you your respect, tell them to go jump off a cliff. If the contract doesn't look good, tear it up and say, I'm not fucking doing this. Like, just go, I'm sorry. Like, I've literally said no to some huge projects. Huge, like one that just shot in New York. Hey, you're going to be on with these 2 giant actors, Jude Law and this one. And I was like, yeah, but the character's written like shit. My agent's like, what are you talking about? They're offering you the role. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do it. But it's Jude Law. And I'm like, well, fuck him. Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't know him, but fuck his TV show because the fucking writer wrote this dog shit. I don't care. Oh, no, now you're talking about Jude Law. Like, well, fuck him, fuck his agent, fuck his manager, and fuck everyone else. Like, who gives a shit? Like, oh, what's Jude Law going to do to me? you know. But then he's like a really badass and he's a tough guy, and then we get in a fight and he beats me up. Like, who gives a shit? Like, what's the worst? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so what I would say is just do whatever you're gonna do and fight your way in. Both understanding that these people don't know anything about disability, so don't get bitter, right? You can't get bitter because that'll just be your downfall.
Yeah.
But you also can't expect any of them to help you, which means you need to help yourself and fight way more than anyone else would have to get into this. But the good people in this industry will see it. And they're like, look at this little fucking fighter. That's someone I can back. And then you meet people like your compatriots. Then you meet a Jordan along. I mean, Jordan and I just met like a year and a half ago.
Well,
and we've been in the business for 20 years each, right? You've been, 20, right? So that's 40 years of experience as disabled creators. And we just met for the first time a year and a half ago.
Wow.
You don't know, but it took him to get to this level and me to get to this level that we could have this kind of conversation.
Going back to our Japan through the magic of Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's how we met, Jordan. You listened to the show and you commented brazenly, I want to be on this show. Did I know who you are? No. But once I looked at your website, I was like, oh my
Dude, he's a badass. Jordan's a badass, man. I want Jordan to be my boss.
Yeah, I want Jordan to be my father, and I love my father, but it's like the esteem. It's like it's the diamonds in the rough. I'd like to think that both advocates with disabilities and those who have yet to discover or embrace their own disabilities listen and watch this show. It's a show now. It's not just a podcast. It's not just a video cast. It's both, and next year it will be a non-profit as well. But I'm not naive enough to think that each group and groups within those groups take the same things away from every episode. So as my esteem gets, what do you hope that advocates with disabilities across every field take away from everything we've talked about? And what do you hope that those who have yet to discover or embrace their own disabilities take away from this episode?
We kind of have to lead the way. Don't take any shit. Pursue what you believe in. Pursue what you need. We need to kind of prove a point. We need to stand up and be counted and show people what we're all about, and we can get what we want regardless of what's up against us.
Yeah, and I say, yeah, go ahead, keep going, sorry.
No, you're on board.
No, I would say, if you're not reaching out and finding people with disabilities to support, right, as an organization, as an advocate, then you're only advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
Which isn't real advocation. Like, you need to, like, I follow so many people with disabilities. Like, I'll randomly search disability in there and I'm like, oh, cool, look at this video. Follow. You're disabled. Follow. That's the support. Like, every one of these organizations seems to just want to go ahead and do something where they get their own followership for their own means, and then they're not remembering the giving part. The advocacy, the tide rises all boats, you know? So to the young person getting in, as Jordan said, Fuck it. Get what you need. Do what you need. Drive at your passion. But also don't go blindly into it and keep your passion identical. Like at 18 years old, your passion should change as you hit new information, and your passion should adjust to the reality of the game. So I would say keep your passion, but just like moving from checkers to chess, learn the game, learn the new rules, learn how all the pieces move, and become a strategist. Understand the difference between strategy and tactics. Understand the differences between those things and learn the rules of the game that you're getting into so that you can break the rules how you need them.
And Dick Wolf and Ryan Murphy, call us.
Yes.
Yeah. And don't stop with just those two. Disney, Marvel, DC.
Kevin Feige, you know where they are.
James Gunn, it's like everyone's welcome to walk with us. It's
well, and they need, and here's what I think a lot of people with disabilities don't understand. They need someone who is a brilliant writer, who has experience, who's a great actor, who has directorial experience in the industry so that they can trust the opinions of those people. Yeah. And if James Gunn knew that Jordan or I existed, they'd go, well, they've done some pretty fucking good work. Let's have a conversation. If Dick Wolf, Ryan Murphy was like, holy shit, they're pretty fucking good. Let's see what they have to say about this shit.
It's exactly the same with Daredevil and Penguin. Why haven't you called us?
Yeah.
They need us. They need us more than we need them.
Yeah, and again, it's follow these people, follow these guys. Kurt Yaeger and Jordan Hogg, and it's not, I cannot stress this enough. Following them does nothing to their egos. They're not out for vanity. They want to be followed so that they can represent ideas, projects, creations to expand the mindset of what people think and feel that people with disabilities can do. It's the same thing behind this show. It's about illuminating and expanding what people think and feel that disability is. It's way more than just a medical condition, folks.
Yeah, think about it this way. If Jordan has 500,000 followers as a director and a producer, he has more power to demand when he wants a disabled actor included in production, because they believe that it's more valuable, because Jordan knows something they don't, because he has 500,000 followers. And two, if they fuck him, Jordan has a mouthpiece to go, hey, these guys screwed this person over, and they fear us. You need both the carrot and the stick, and the amount of followers helps us do that. I don't care, but like, if I wasn't in the film business, I wouldn't even be on social media. The only reason I'm on there is because it's necessary for my business. I was working on my master's in hydrogeology, doing research and fluvial experimentations at Berkeley Labs. I wasn't even in this, like, I wouldn't even be on social media. I wouldn't give a shit. But the point is that in this business, it actually matters. Not to make money, to have influence and power. As a producer myself, I can go in now and go, hey, I want 5% of my cast to be disabled. And they're going to go, we don't know. And I go, well, do you want me to demand 20 and tell my audience that you told me to go jump off a bridge? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, then. So let's go for 5. Let's be reasonable and work up to 10, and then work up to 15, and then get to 20. And then they go, oh, okay. And then I go, great, thanks for the 5%. I also want 5% of my crew. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they go, okay, here you go, 5% of your crew. And then I say, okay, what are your ancillary companies? And they go, what do you mean? I go, like crafty, the people we hire, like, right? I want one of the crafty people to have a disability. And you start going down the line, and then we systemically change the way that disabilities is included. That's it. And everyone's like, holy fuck. Do you know why disabilities is so important? Well, for 100 different reasons. But for the main one is it makes everyone realize what's important in life. Like it makes you just slow down for a half a minute and go, oh, okay. And I think when people do that, they realize that disabilities is so fucking valuable to be included in regular life. It like limits the stupidity of like corporate greed. It eliminates the stupidity of anything that's not human, because to be disabled is a natural human experience.
Yeah.
And all we're doing is excluding it. And when someone has anything that relates to a disability, even if it's temporary, they're shunned. When that is totally normal, like, oh, you have a flaw? Ew. Oh, your nose is a little crooked? Ew. Oh, you've got a limp? Ew. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck your idea of perfection, because that doesn't exist. So that's what followers do for us. They give us the power to fix that forever, to change that narrative, at least as long as this society is around. Like maybe we'll have a big meteorite strike and we'll have a new one, and then we'll be fucked again and have to figure this out again in 7,000 years. But man, like that's what the followers do.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan, like speak to it, man. Like he would literally be like my greatest advocate personally to be on one of his shows if he had more followers. Like that would have already happened.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Well, let's keep talking and keep working to get the original IP made. Kurt Yaeger and Jordan Hogg, I'll be talking and seeing both of you again very soon. God
love it, brother.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.